story Jesus tells in Luke chapter 13. The story he tells is a story called the parable of the fig tree. It's about a farmer who has a whole plantation of these particular trees called fig trees, which grow a fruit, of course, called figs. Figs can be used for cooking, they can be used for making into jam, or they can just be eaten as they are. But they're very popular. The problem with the fig tree plantation is every plant has grown into a fig tree that has been producing figs except the tree at the very end of the plantation. For some reason, this fig tree has produced not a single fruit. And the farmer looks at it and he's quite concerned about it. He doesn't know what's going on. So he says to himself, I'll give it another year. So he comes back a year later. Sure enough, all the trees have produced figs again except this very last tree. Not a single fig has appeared on it. So the farmer says, right, I'm really worried about this, so I'm going to go away and give it a third year. He goes away, he comes back after the third year, he walks along, all the fig trees have figs on them, but the last one has not a single fig. The farmer shakes his head, he says, I don't know what's gone wrong here. Well, there's no point having this tree sit there and produce no fruit, so he gets his axe and he decides he's going to chop the tree down. It's at that point the son of the farmer's with him, and he says, Dad, I've got an idea. How about I give it one more year? I'll put lots of manure around it and fertilizer. I'll put heaps of water on it, and we'll see if we can get it going. And the dad says, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. For 1 year, you go there and give it a real good go. And that's what the son does for 1 year. But when they come back after the fourth year, there's still no fruit on the tree. That story is a story about people. Jesus is trying to illustrate about people's lives. Do you know when you're young, you join school for the first time, you start at kindergarten, then you go into pre-primary. We are very young and we're learning lots about life. And as you go through those grades, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6 in primary school, you are growing and changing. You should not be at year 6 the same person you were when you're in kindergarten. You should be learning things, not just learning things academically and maths and spelling and HAS, but you should also be learning about how to treat people around you. You should be learning how to make friends. You should be learning how to follow authority of your teachers. You should be learning how to sit at a desk and work without being distracted or distracting other people around you. These are the skills you should be learning as you're in primary school. And the reason you have to learn that is because one day you will finish school and you're going to go into the world, and in that world, those skills you need to take into it. If you want to hold down a job, you need to learn how to work and be disciplined. If you want to know how to not get yourself into trouble with the law, you need to learn how to be a follower of authority. If you want to make friends that are real good friends, you have to learn how to do that and take that into the real world. And you need to learn how to deal with difficult people. When you're in primary school, of course you come across difficult students, and some of them can be very nasty and some can really upset you. But you have to learn how to deal with them, because those type of people will always be in your life. But if you don't grow during this time, if you stay the same, your life is not going to produce any fruit. And by fruit, the Bible means things like patience, goodness, self-control, love, peace. These are the type of things that people around you will benefit from when they see someone like you acting in that way and responding to the world in that way. These are the fruits which the Bible says are the fruits of the Spirit. But if you don't produce any fruit, you will just become a tree that no one wants to associate with. You won't be able to get a job. You won't be able to make friends. You'll find yourself always in conflict with other people. And you'll find yourself eventually saying, oh, well, I'm going to start a family. And when you start the family, your family's going to have a whole lot of problems as well, because you're not producing any fruit that blesses people around you. But Jesus wasn't really simply telling the story to ask you to be a nice person. What Jesus was saying here is God must be part of your life. The son of the farmer who takes responsibility to give that tree a good go is Jesus himself. Jesus has been sent by his Father to invest himself into us. And Jesus calls us to open the door of our heart up and to ask him to come inside, because when he does, It's not that you have to try to be good, but the Spirit inside you will start to transform you and you will produce fruit. Those attributes of love, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control, they will start to grow and come out of you. That's the evidence that Jesus is truly part of your life and that he's in this world. Always open your door up to the gardener who can change the tree. You won't just turn over a new leaf, you'll turn over a whole new tree.